This week's episode of Still Untitled is brought to you by HP Workstations. With prices starting at $1,465, HP Workstations enable you to innovate without boundaries, expanding as your workflow grows. Plus, you get free shipping, returns, and customer support 24/7, 365 days of the year. And right now, you can get an exclusive offer just for our listeners. Get 15% off HP Workstations with Intel Core i5 processors when you go to hp.com/untitled and enter code UNTITLED at checkout. That's hp.com/untitled. Enter code UNTITLED to get 15% off select HP Workstations. Whether you have a small business that's looking to grow or you are established and ready to take the next step, HP Workstations with Intel Core i5 processors are for you.
Welcome to Still Untitled, the Adam Savage Project. I'm Will.
I'm Adam.
And I'm Norm.
Hello, gentlemen.
Hello, gentlemen.
It's been a couple of good weeks.
It has.
We have reunited.
Yeah. How was your fourth? What did anybody ever have 10 fingers and 10 toes?
Yes, we did. We even fired weaponry on the 4th of July.
What?
Yes.
What?
Well, went up to my friend's house in Petaluma. They
Okay.
have a farm
Yeah.
just south of Petaluma
Aren't
proper.
there all farms up there in
What?
Petaluma?
No,
There's
there are
like
houses and
subdivisions and-
Victorians, and my ex-wife's family's from up
lot of
there.
craftsmen.
It's lots of
Okay.
suburban, beautiful
Yeah.
craftsmen, Edwardians.
There's also one of the largest Star Wars collections of Star Wars memorabilia up there.
Steve Sansweet. Well,
right.
like half the employees of Industrial Light and Magic live up there.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
Because they used to work out Lucas Valley Road.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Back
so,
in the day.
We were up there at the farm, and Maggie, my terrier, rolled around in some cow shit.
Oh, that's always the best. Especially with that wiry coat. It really gets in there.
God, man. My friend who owns the farm has some shotguns, and so Thing 1 and Thing 2 fired their first shotgun rounds. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
We did skeet shooting.
It's not the way it works back east. Like, I got a 410 when I turned 9 years old when I was in Tennessee. Not even joking. That's
They
a
were
real
firing
thing.
buckshot, so it wasn't a huge kick or
Yeah,
birdshot. It
birdshot.
wasn't a huge kick. But they also fired a 44 revolver.
That'll leave a mark.
It was heavy with less kick than I thought it was. Than I thought it would have. It was both a lighter pistol than I thought it would be, and it was. Anyway,
Yeah.
you know, the boys fired guns. Guns.
It's America.
Yeah.
Look, we like guns too. I mean, in certain controlled circumstances.
Yeah.
Growing up and learning how to shoot skeet was that was an important part of my life as a kid. Like, we had a skeet thrower in the back of the backfield that we could go out and with supervision, of course, shoot skeet pretty much anytime we wanted. It was a lot
Really
of fun.
fun.
Yeah.
I hit 3 out of 5 my first try.
That's
I
good.
mean, I skeet shot for the show a few years back.
I don't enjoy the aerial skeet. I like the ranges that have like the rabbits that roll down the hill,
Like moving targets on the ground.
like on the ground.
I
Yeah.
love skeet. But
Skeet's
have
really
you
fun.
just done left to right?
Yeah.
See,
left to right. Yeah.
you got to do away from you or towards you.
That's what we always
Whoa.
did was...
Oh yeah, you have a lot
I have
more
no
time. It's
depth
a lot
perception.
more forgiving.
Oh, really? Okay. Okay.
Well, so
Easier.
we had a flinger that would do 3 that you could load 3 up on,
Mm-hmm.
pull the cord, and then you could take those 3 shots, and you usually have four rounds in the shotgun.
Right.
Or we also had some hand throwers that my dad would huck when he wanted to throw a tricky one in there.
googly?
Yeah, something
Yeah.
put something a little wild in there. But it's all about it's just learning how long to lead.
How to lead it? Yeah,
Yeah.
it was really fun. So we did that. I brought 12 years ago,
Okay.
14 years ago maybe. I had
Way back in 2005.
way back. I had dinner with Don Herbert, the original Mr. Wizard,
Oh, okay.
and
didn't realize
Steve
that-
Jacobs, who was the inheritor of Mr. Wizard's mantle.
Okay.
And Steve, after that dinner, Steve sent me a gift of a gross of bottle rockets. And every year since then, I've been thinking, every time I go up to our friends in Petaluma's for the 4th, which has been sort of a regular thing, I think, oh, I forgot the bottle rockets. This year, I remembered them.
Okay.
And we fired them all. It was really fun. They were black cats. They were very reliable. They left a little trail of sparkles before blowing up. Showed the kids how to light up like 7 or 8 at once. It was really fun.
Norm, you came down to Pacifica for your first Pacifica 4th of July,
Yeah.
I think.
The war zone.
Yeah. What'd you think? I always describe it
loud.
as like Baghdad in like 1993, the night of the invasion.
How did Ripley do?
I have a photo. I was just about to pull up a photo, which I guess I'll have to post now in the comments. But yeah, dogs. You have a dog.
Chloe
and
does not like the 4th of
your
July.
dog does not like the 4th of July.
No.
Here's my dog. During
She was just cuddled and a little sad.
Terrified face.
This year was the first year Huxley. Well, first of all, in San Francisco proper, it was a foggy night. And thus, the actual night of the 4th of July was a little bit quieter than it has been in years past. But I think that Huxley, who is Maggie doesn't give a crap.
Yeah.
But Huxley, like last year, I just remember him like waking Julia and I up, standing between us on the bed, drooling.
Yeah, he's a sensitive soul.
Yeah.
So Chloe, we have a sedative prescription for her.
I keep forgetting about that.
Well, so our vet originally said, hey, you can do Benadryl, but that gets some dogs really cranked up. And Chloe is, of course, a let's get cranked up kind of Benadryl dog.
She's like Jason Statham as a dog.
Pretty much, yeah. You just you get you pull the lamp cord apart and then you jam it on her chest and she starts murdering people. But yeah, we like our neighborhood. Like Gina and I, when we first moved there, used to go climb up on the roof and watch the fireworks because they basically just go off all around you. It's a 360 degree, and people I think drive to Nevada or someplace you can get illegal fireworks, and they're firing off like 3-inch mortars that are
Really?
like commercial, almost I would say almost commercial level fireworks probably, but like they'll explode and they'll have like the million little puffs around and like it's bonkers.
Yeah.
This year, some people discovered let's make the ones that don't do any kind of flashes or anything, but just make an enormous sound and would set off every car alarm in a 7 or 8 block radius.
Yeah.
Those were great. Dogs love those. Kids love those too. It's terrific. People who get those are bad, but the ones that make the pretty lights are it's fun.
Speaking of leads, we are bearing the lead. This is the week of San Diego Comic-Con.
What? Boo!
I know.
We're there already?
We're there.
We're almost there.
I'm so excited. Did you guys get me a room
packing
this
the
year?
car today.
I'm literally, as you guys are listening to this,
Wow.
I'm probably packing a big van to drive things in this room down to Comic-Con.
So what are you taking this year?
Well, it's all secret.
What? You're not going to even tell me?
No.
We'll tell you
nobody else is
after.
there.
I think people would lose their minds if we started naming costumes but making that silent.
Oh, you mean we're going to bring that?
They'll reach your lips.
Yeah, and then
Yeah, I mean, what a horrible monster. Wow. I can't believe you're going to take yeah.
So, yeah, we're getting ready for Comic-Con. It's shaping up nicely.
Yeah, and obviously we'll be shooting a bunch of videos down there. We're hoping to see a lot of friends down there. And like, this is your like 7th Comic-Con, 7th or 8th Comic-Con?
gotta be close to 10.
It's my 8th I think 2008 was my very first one.
So this is 9.
So this makes 9.
Aside from the incognito walks that you're going to be excited for, what are you looking forward to?
There's a Battlestar Galactica reunion panel.
Ooh.
That's going to be really exciting.
Hold on. The 2000s era one, right? The sci-fi one?
I actually don't know the scope. I just heard that and figure I'm in.
No, I think it's
I believe it's
the Sci-Fi Channel, the reboot, which at this point
It's like
is it
12
been
years old.
10 years since that's come out.
really,
That's,
really still
Yeah.
important.
Yeah.
Still an amazing achievement.
But the fact that is now what we are reunioning
right,
to,
right.
like
Guys, we're
really,
old.
Yeah.
You're not getting any younger. This is the way it is.
Have I told the story about the graduation in the podcast about
No.
Julia getting the?
Oh yes. Yeah.
I did.
Oh, I might not have been here.
Yes. I think you told that story.
All right,
Yes.
okay. Never mind.
It's we feel.
My wife got told that her dad looked just like the guy from MythBusters.
Nice. That is like a double whammy compliment. Like,
I know.
Sorry for the burn, Adam, but good job, Mrs. Don't Try This.
Good job. Well done. Well done. Yes, we are old is the point of that story.
Yes.
John Hodgman wrote this beautiful Shouts and Murmurs in the New Yorker a few years ago. And he wanted to talk about watching Downton Abbey with his kids. But he said, I want to tell you about my kids. I'm going to mangle this opening. But he said, I want to tell you about my kids, but all short stories about kids are the same story. And they're this story. Kids are hilarious, and I am old and dying.
This is true. And every comedian who has kids, their act becomes a variation of that story.
Well, dude, so we just went to a wedding. My amazing and incredibly talented sister got married down in Santa Barbara yesterday, and so we drove down. Thing 1 and Thing 2 drove down in Thing 2's new car he
Nice.
got. And we rallied on the way down there, and we now are people who have adult children, right? They go
yeah.
off and do their own thing.
They don't have to tell you where they're going.
No, they don't. It's freaking me out, man.
Did you go down 101?
We
Or
did.
did you go
We
down
took,
5?
No, we took 101.
Man, that is such an awesome drive.
Dude, can I tell you, I made it back from Santa Barbara this morning in just a shade under 5 hours
Well,
flat.
you didn't take the Land Cruiser, I guess.
No. That was the Prius.
Okay.
And it was a great drive. So we had a what was the purpose of my story? Oh, about being older and the kids. Yeah, no, I have adult children, man. And they're like, okay, we'll see you old people later. And they would just take off and go do stuff.
I mean, we're reaching the point now where my daughter's 4.5, and her friends are going to. A lot of her friends are going to kindergarten. She was born in January, so she has another year with us, basically. And like I'm seeing the end of like the little like the talking to stuffed animals and like the little girl and little boy stuff. And I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna be so sad when this goes. And she's like, Dad, no, I don't have imaginary friends anymore. So yeah, are your kids coming to Comic-Con? I guess.
Look
at that segue.
That was nice.
Bring it back. Bring it back.
Thing 2 is coming to Comic-Con.
Okay.
Thing 1 will be working, I
Oh.
believe.
Wow.
He's got a new job. He's working in the kitchen, which is fantastic because he's natural. He's a natural in the kitchen, actually. Like, he has better instincts than Julia or I, and we're fairly serious.
Yeah.
As serious as any one of us.
So you're serious home chefs.
Yeah, no. Thing 1 is I have high hopes for this job. I think this is a really important kind of step.
That's
I'm
awesome.
excited. He comes. It's a long shift, 10 hours.
You shouldn't feel that bad about not going to Comic-Con. And that's the point I want to get across, because of all our listeners out there, the vast majority of you guys probably are not going to be at Comic-Con. And not going to complain. Love going to Comic-Con. I'll go until they won't have me there anymore, until I can't find a way to go. But going to Comic-Con the way we go to Comic-Con is very different than going to Comic-Con someone who's going there just to go to the panels and just to go experience. And you almost get you can have a very fulfilling Comic-Con experience not being at Comic-Con. And following all the trailer releases, all the news, all the buzz. Really, pop culture pays attention to it.
I'll go even further and say that cons are popping up so fast and furiously all over the country and all over the world that if there is a con near you and you go to that, even if there's 5,000 people at that con, there's going to be some people, presumably you're going because maybe there's a panel with some people you're interested in. Well, if you go to that con, you have a much higher likelihood of getting FaceTime or an autograph or to say thank you to that person at a smaller con. If you want to do cosplay in San Diego in the summer is the hottest thing imaginable.
Yep.
Heat stroke is a real danger, as we've seen on Tested. All the things that you want out of Comic-Con, except for, waiting online for the culture of the line is a significant thing, and Hall H and what goes on there on the multiple days is its own thing, and that is singular to San Diego.
It's ritualistic.
Yeah, and those are things that, yes, are special about San Diego Comic-Con, but a lot of the other things about going to see your people and finding your cosplayers of the genre that you like to cosplay in, you could probably find something within a couple hundred miles of you.
Well, as somebody who's gone to a lot, I've been to like 10 Comic-Cons and then stopped when I stopped working here full time.
Yeah.
And like I miss seeing my friends. I miss there's a group of people that I see only at cons, right?
Yeah.
And that's the thing that that's literally like I see much more of the news that comes out. I see much more of the trailers and stuff than I ever would have because I wasn't a Hall H guy for the most part.
Yeah.
And if you miss on the merch, most of that goes online anyway.
I'm not. My house is full. I don't need any more stuff. But seeing the friends that I see at cons is the big thing that I miss about going to cons.
And that's significant. Yeah, for me too. There's the backstage at Woodstock on the Thursday of Comic-Con is one of the key social events of my year.
I mean, it's almost worth going to San Diego just to go hang out at the backstage at Woodstock, see those 20, 40, 50 people, however many back there now, and then just leave.
I think plenty of people do that. Go to San Diego and not enter the main convention hall because they can't get passes, and maybe they want to crash to the front. But there are plenty of peripheral events as well.
Well, and even if like if I never have to cross the street at the gas lamp in front of the convention hall again, when the
Waiting
when
for that
the-
train for an hour while it's
Yeah.
going by in the middle of the night.
when the guys with the megaphones are yelling at you about their
Jesus and-
religious beliefs,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm probably okay.
Well-
like I don't need to do that anymore. I'm good.
None of this is to say that Comic-Con is spent or over. It's just to actually assuage some of the burn, because I know we get a lot of comments of, I wish I could go. And having been to some bigger and smaller cons, I'm here to say that, the culture is very similar. And if you want to go find that culture, go find a con near you.
Yeah.
And we'll be covering it. You'll
Yes.
get all the stuff on the site anyway.
You might
we'll
get
be
it.
your eyes and ears.
We're not throwing a party this year.
Nope.
What?
No. And this means that I think, because I've noticed the split, Norm might actually get a photo essay in this year.
Oh, maybe. We'll see. We'll see.
How many costumes are you gonna go for this year, Norm?
10.
1,300, 1,500. What was your record?
Yeah, we'll see.
Like,
We'll
back
see.
in-
I'm bringing a camera.
Oh wow.
I will bring a camera.
Back in the day when we first started doing that, which it's been almost 10, you did it for what, 8 years, probably 7
This
years.
will be my 12th year at Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
The Norm would go out every year and he'd be like, "I'm going to get 800 photos." So like, dude, you have to take 60 photos a day if you're going to get 800 photos. And
200, 4 days.
Yeah, and then he would go out and take 1,300 photos.
Yeah.
and
And that's
like
how I bumped into Stephen Colbert.
Right. Well, the ratio, but the amazing thing about that wasn't the volume; it was the quality you got at the volume you were doing,
Totally.
which was astounding.
It's one of my favorite things about Comic-Con is your compendium of who you saw and what you saw.
And they're now people I know and I'm friends with, and the venue sets up. I mean, they're spending the time putting on the costume, hours.
Yeah.
In some cases, it's like, wow, you can arrange a photo shoot and have all this preparation
No.
done, and enjoyed documenting it.
Now, we have to remember, in addition to I'm bringing 2 costumes this year.
That's it.
Whoa! Too much given away.
Sorry.
Already.
I also have to bring something for the ease of walking around.
Yes. Yeah.
So we can't forget that. We
Your
did I
disguise
forgot
costume.
something last year.
You're gonna put on your T-Rex head, just walk around with that on your shoulders.
No, last year I was casual Rocketeer, and I think
You've done that
not
before.
last year. This was like 5 years ago. I
Yeah.
was casual Rocketeer, so I just wore a suit jacket and a Rocketeer helmet. And I think Chris Hardwick tweeted about seeing. I just saw a casual Rocketeer, and I texted him back, "Dude, that was me."
Well, that was the year I think the first year you and I went.
Yeah.
With
the
you.
Rocketeer.
Yes.
Because we were walking around, I was like, I just saw somebody in a Rocketeer helmet that looked just like Adam. And I was like, it probably was Adam, it turns out.
I will tell you that last year, Mark Satrakian, and we've covered him on the site.
Yep.
He's an amazing roboticist, engineer.
He built the BattleBots trophy, the spinning
Yes.
one, right?
Yep.
And
Yeah.
also a lot of the early Robot Wars, incredible robots of different forms and functions. He built
If you've seen
tons
that
of the
7-Up commercial with the musician Drake and his whole face explodes like a robot, that is a real animatronic made by Mark
Satrakian.
Wow.
And he's an old friend of mine. I've known him for over 20 years. And last year, was it? When did I do Kylo Ren? Last year?
It must have been last year.
Last
It
year,
was.
okay. So last year I did Kylo Ren, and I had, since I came down with 2 or 3 Kylo Ren helmets, I wore one as the casual walk-around helmet. And I'm standing at the Weta booth because I'm about to say hi to Richard Taylor and Greg Broadmoor and my friends from Weta. And I see Satrakian and his wife. And I look over at them, and Satrakian pauses and goes, "Hey, Adam." And to this day, I have no idea how he knew. He just could
Built
tell
body
from
language,
the way
man.
I was standing. Like that was an amazing bit of Sherlock Holmes detective level.
Or,
shit
or
right
yeah, I
there.
was
like
gonna
every
say.
magician, he just said that to everyone, and it paid off.
No. We made eye contact through the gauze of my mask. He was dressed as a kitty cat with his lovely wife. They were awesome, and he totally knew it was me. I could see that. I could see he beat it in on that.
Wow.
Isn't that far out?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm totally so. You know, to me, it's just like I wake up at like 7:30 every morning and going until 2 or 3 every night. I am on a sci-fi panel about science fiction in general that will be hosted by John Hodgman,
Wow.
a good friend, and so he's coming to Comic-Con. I think this is the first year that I've been to Comic-Con with him.
Right. We bumped into him last year in New York Comic Con,
Right.
his hometown.
Yes.
Yeah, but
he
not
came out
San
and
Diego.
played. But no, this is San Diego. So we'll have a lot of mutual friends there. We're doing, as we said, Woodstock. The lineup for Woodstock on the Thursday night of Comic Con. Tickets are still available at the Balboa, one of my favorite little theaters in the country.
It is. It's a show where there's something for everybody.
It really is.
Probably more than one thing, but at least one thing.
We have a great lineup of some awesome people this year, as we do every year. The Balboa is, I think it seats around 1,600, 1,800, but it feels a lot more intimate than that. It feels more like Largo, which is, I think, on the order of 400 or 500 people. Largo in L.A.
I'm getting a ton of press releases now, of course, this week and this past month from PR people about the things that are happening at Comic-Con. And one that caught my eye that's not actually in the convention center is Leica is bringing many of their miniatures and many of their sets from their films.
From Kubo,
From
etc.
And they will be displayed in the Gaslamp District.
Are you going to go to that?
Oh, yes.
Okay, I can't wait to see that.
Oh my gosh.
At a store, yeah.
The translucent silicone castings they were doing for some of the characters in Kubo were amazing.
Just like that is a movie I could watch a scene dissection of almost every scene in the film.
And strangely, I felt like a lot of the extra material stuff I saw about Kubo was unsatisfying because it didn't give me enough of that.
I like usually when I've watched enough effects films at this point, and I know enough about how that stuff works, that I can look at a film and see where the traditional filmmaking, where the digital stuff, where the separation is.
Yeah.
And in most of that film, they are such wizards at stop motion. I have no idea where the digital starts and the traditional ends, and it's astounding.
Adam, you make a really good point because like when a film goes into production, either an in-house team does some behind-the-scenes documenting, or typically there's maybe a second, third-party production company that's brought in to film and
Usually
then produce.
late in the process, obviously, when everything's built.
Right, and then maybe it's like a sister company or brother company of the main primary production company, and they know their job is to make a marketing video.
Yeah.
And not to say that their videos are
denigrate
bad,
them.
right? Any of their work, because it's not easy to try to catch these moments of creativity and spontaneity and not get in the way of the filmmaking process.
Oh, I mean, let's talk about, a film like Kubo is probably happening on 20 to 40 stages.
Yeah.
That means 20 to 40 separate animators animating on specific sets, animating single shots that may be 2 or 3 seconds, and it's taking them weeks sometimes to achieve these shots.
But I rarely find the standard, I think, for these behind the scenes is the Lord of the Rings films and the behind the scenes documentaries. And I've rarely seen a film reach behind the scenes documentary and pieces reach that level of detail and comprehension.
It's problematic. I mean, if the studio is doing it, they're sending somebody in, and they don't want to send them in multiple times. It's as we know, it's expensive to move a crew around.
It turns out,
if you're internal, it's a cost to have those people on staff. The thing is there's that shot of the animator animating that beast from. What is that? Is it Kubo?
Kubo's the skeleton head.
Yeah,
the
big
massive one.
multi-section
dragon snake thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's time lapse of the animator moving all around it, animating all of its parts. It's like I could sit and watch that forever. Oh my God! You know what I sat and watched for 30 minutes last night? I sat and watched a craftsman who in the Curta the Curta computers, those little coffee grinders that I have, it's 600 separate parts to put one of those together.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I watch for 30 minutes. I watch a craftsman assemble one.
Oh, that's
and
fun.
It is things like he's using these tiny little jeweler's screwdriver with a magnet in it to pick up this screw and then hold it carefully. And it's just like, oh my God, it's so satisfying.
Have you ever seen the competitions of the guys that rebuild mechanical watches, like race?
No.
Wow. I was Googling and I could not find. You can't buy a mechanical watch kit. You can buy a clock kit, mechanical clock kit.
Well, mechanical watch kit would be pretty challenging
but even
to start
like
out
blown
on.
up
Oh.
at large scale.
Well, that's called a clock.
Yeah. A big watch.
But in that form
That's your
factor,
Flavor Flav.
yes. But like the movement to fit within that, yes, Adam.
This is such a good
I'm
episode.
cracking myself up. You know, I have my drill bit sorters over there, and the multiple drawers of drill bits. And at the top are the tiniest little drill bits, and at the bottom are these giant 1.5-inch Deming bits.
Yeah.
And they're gargantuan, and most people have never seen a drill bit that big. And every now and then, when I show someone that, they go, "What is that used for?" And I go, "Drilling big holes." Next stupid question.
No such thing as a stupid question, Adam. Wow. I have completely lost the thread of what we were talking about at this point.
We were talking
Making
about
clocks.
ComicCon. We were talking about Kubo. We were talking about puppets.
Documenting the behind the scenes, and so often the stuff that goes into making the film, that's all lost. It's not, I don't think, in the studio's interest to archive that.
Like, you don't want to see the drama of the day that the guy blew glitter on the set, right? Like that's lost to all time.
Yeah, but I think you're right, Norm. The stuff from Lord of the Rings is so satisfyingly packed with information. You know, there's the 3 original releases, the 3 extended releases. Each movie has attached to it, between those two, 6 or 7 hours worth of ancillary footage of the rocks that they're making and the way they recorded Treebeard's voice and the actors horsing around. It's just delightful.
But I mean, that is a rare example of a time that Peter Jackson knew he was making something he was trying to make something for the ages, and I think in large part succeeded.
Yeah.
And as a result, like, he was able to say, "Look, New Line, you're betting your entire business on this thing. Let's take the time and document it."
It's great. I mean, I think it's I would like to see more of that. And even, again, I was saying before about the animators, it's really hard to film an animator while they're doing their work. It is incredibly mentally intensive, backbreaking, exhausting work, and you don't want a camera crew going, "So tell me what you're doing now." Right now I'm doing a newspaper flying across the street. Leave me alone.
Yeah, even the presence of a camera that you know is on.
Yeah.
Like, just like as you're building, like having a GoPro on changes the way you build.
Well, or if you come in if the person who comes in to change the SD card bumps the camera, the set, the light, literally anything.
Yeah.
You could lose. I mean, on a good day, those guys will shoot 2 or maybe 3 seconds of footage.
Right. Yeah, no,
And I mean, that's like a really fast day. That's bonkers.
but suffice to say, Leica,
Yeah.
for your next movie, I'll watch all the behind the scenes footage you can throw at me.
Yeah.
I will take that bet.
Yes. Give a 30-minute video of sewing clothes. Wood puppets.
Like,
Sounds
this is
delightful.
But this is the place that it would be awesome to get, like, somebody with the brain, with a Cinefex like brain, to come in and kind of do these post videos, right?
Totally.
Yeah. Anyway, I guess that's it for us.
No, I want to give a recommendation. So,
Yeah.
Should we just do this as a regular segment, like endorsements, shit we like?
Well,
I mean, we do it every week.
yeah.
This is, I'm eating a chip while Norm's doing an endorsement.
People love that. I would not endorse
last
that.
week, Jeremy, Ab, and I, we talked about the Great Wall.
Wait, Jeremy was here,
Jeremy was here.
and you didn't invite me. I love Jeremy.
You
It's
weren't-
great.
you
You know
were
what?
out of
Jeremy's
town.
never been on the
Okay.
podcast
I
before, it
know.
turns out. I didn't know that. I thought he had.
No, we tried to get him in after the captain's chair. He was a little shy.
And we talked about the Great Wall as an example that we didn't think
The Matt
succeeded.
Damon movie.
The Matt Damon movie of an international movie.
It was a Great Wall movie with Matt Damon.
Yeah. As a collaboration between Western studios and international studio.
Yeah.
Right?
Like
Movie-
Transformers 3.
Well, not exactly like that, because that you have the token money that goes in, but that one's a movie made for America. The Great Wall is weird because it's half made for China and half made for America. And I don't think it succeeded, but I did watch a movie in which I do think that succeeds, and that's Okja. And it's a movie
The Bong Joon-ho film
Yes.
about the little girl with the big thing.
with the super pig.
The super pig.
It's an interesting movie because it was funded by Netflix and it was released in theaters in Korea, but also simultaneously on Netflix in the U.S.
How do you spell it?
OKJA. It's
Okay.
dark as hell. It's not a family film.
Oh, really?
It's troubling. Danica couldn't finish it because there's animal abuse thing in there.
I'm good then.
So,
Yeah.
Thanks.
wow.
Good recommendation,
Yeah.
Norm.
but it is a film that half of it is set in Korea and half of it is set in the U.S. and there is English and Korean mixed logically, and
Amazing.
I think it's a really interesting cinematic.
I will see
achievement.
how much of it I can make it through.
You can watch through the first half, no
All
problem,
right.
but you will know at a point where you can't watch it, and it's a perfect place to stop.
Okay.
OKJA.
I watched Riverdale. the Archie and Veronica and Betty teen drama.
Yeah.
I think it was on the CW, maybe. I don't know.
Wow. How did that go? How did that go for you?
So I have to say, 4 or 5 people, including my friend Casey, have said multiple times, "Hey, you should watch this. It's right up your alley." I like a good teen. Like your Pretty Little Liars. It's schlocky, but
Sure,
self-aware and well written.
I Bring It On. Is that the
Bring It On
movie?
is a classic example of that. Your Easy A, your
I hear
Mean
it's more
Girls,
Twin Peaks
Clueless.
than those.
So it's like Pretty Little Liars is kind of like Twin Peaks goes to high school, right?
Okay.
I mean that's a gross oversimplification and reductivist and all the bad things. This is very self-aware in a way that Pretty Little Liars kind of never was.
Oh.
And it takes these characters that you think you know really well, and you do know really well, plays them entirely in the veins that you think. But like, I was blown away by the first episode, and I apologize.
Wow.
Yeah, like I flipped. It popped up on my things you might like on Netflix. It had a high percentage, which is usually an okay sign. And I started it, and within like 5 minutes, I was hooked. I think we'll probably watch the whole season. It's really good.
Wow.
So,
Okay.
It may fall off the rails. I have no idea.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I've started. Mrs. Don't Try This, and I've started watching The Leftovers.
Oh,
We
I
heard
heard
so much about the third season and how transformative and transcendent it was. We started with the first episode, and it's pretty freaking riveting.
The people I have good friends whose taste I admire who like that show an awful lot, and I bounced off about 3 episodes into the first season. So
we're in the middle of a torrent of great movies. In theaters, well-reviewed movies. So I know we haven't done a big Explorer cast for a big movie, but there's homework for you guys.
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
Yep. Got to see that this week.
Atomic
Sick.
Blonde, The Big Sick.
Atomic Blonde's out.
It's got this coming
this week.
weekend, I believe.
Yeah.
So any of those, if
Sorry,
you
I
guys
didn't mean
watch
to yell.
them,
hold
we
on,
will.
there's one more. A Baby Driver.
Baby Driver. Have you
Yeah.
seen? Yep.
Okay.
But
Haven't
we
seen
won't
it.
talk about that until you guys have, and we'll do a spoiler cast on one of those films.
Okay.
So we should
the future.
coordinate so that we all see the right one.
I've
we
seen
could
all
watch
of them.
them
I know
all.
So
you
you
have-
guys
I don't want to hear
coordinate.
it. Look,
Adults with children.
he has adult children. He has no excuse anymore.
No, I don't have an excuse anymore. All right.
Okay.
We'll
Thank
see you
you
after
guys.
Comic-Con.
We'll see you after Comic-Con.
Bye. Have fun at Comic-Con, guys.
We will.
Once again, we want to thank the sponsor of this week's episode of Still Untitled, and that's HP. With prices starting at $1,465, HP workstations enable you to innovate without boundaries, expanding as your workflow grows. Plus, you get free shipping, returns, and customer support 24/7, 365 days of the year. And right now, you can get an exclusive offer just for our listeners. Get 15% off select HP workstations with Intel Core i5 processors when you go to hp.com/untitled and enter code UNTITLED at checkout. That's hp.com/untitled. Enter in code UNTITLED to get 15% off select HP workstations. The special discount is valid through July 31st. Whether you have a small business that's looking to grow or you're established and ready to take the next step, HP's workstations with Intel Core i5 processors are for you.